Have you ever wondered what it's like to be the sun and have someone orbit around you, unable to pull away? Today, we figure out how to make them chase you. Welcome to the art of detachment, my Stoic friends. When we're looking for love, we often end up on the losing end, pleading and disappearing into someone else's story. But what if I told you that by taking a step back, you could go from being the chaser to the chased? This isn't about giving up. It's about reclaiming your power. In today's episode, we go into detail about the Stoic practice of detachment. How can pulling back make them step forward? How does less become more? As we go over these principles, we'll look at these paradoxes and give you the tools to stop chasing and start attracting. Remember that the lack of your steady attention is a lesson in value they won't easily forget. Please click the like button. If you want to learn more about reclaiming your independence, don't forget to join. Are you ready to see how silence speaks volumes and absence is deeply felt? Let's get started, and don't forget to leave a comment. I admire your new outlook. Let's start with number 1. She sees the change. Take a moment to think about how you've always been the one to start things, plan them, and be there for everyone. But what if you chose to stop this pattern? What if you let the echo of your absence speak volumes? When you step back, you're not fading into the background. Instead, you're recalibrating the dynamics in a way that's both subtle and powerful. You're showing that you're not desperate and that your world isn't tied to her every move. This is when you start to regain control and the magic of rediscovery begins. Think about the times in a movie when the sound goes off and everyone knows that something big is about to happen. That's the strength of your departure. She starts to notice the sudden lack of your undivided attention, the silence, the space. What's more interesting is that she starts to think about why the change. We're not trying to trick your thoughts or change how you feel. It's about respecting your own worth and stopping chasing someone who hasn't given you the attention and care you deserve. As the saying goes, distance makes the heart grow fond. By pulling away, you're not leaving a void. You're inviting her to feel what it was like to miss something in order to value it. When you step back, you need to be more available. You don't have to pull away. You just have to make being there a choice instead of a given. This could mean taking a little longer to react and not being available all the time. It could also mean putting more focus on your own interests and pursuits. This is about subtlety. The beauty of this approach is that when you stop trying to get her attention, she starts to realize how much she's taken it for granted. Isn't it tiring to always be the one who cares more, the one who always offers a hand? When you choose to step back, you're not only giving her room, you're also giving yourself room to breathe and pursue your own goals, to rediscover what makes you happy. In doing this, you not only regain your power, but you also become more desirable and compelling. Thought. Things we chase tend to get away from us, but things we let go of often find their way back. In relationships, the same rule applies. When you stop the chase, you spark her interest and make her think about you in a new way, making her wonder why your presence isn't as strong. That's when things change. The Stoics stress the importance of self-control and focusing on what we can change, our actions and reactions, not the actions of others. When you practice this philosophy, you're taking a step back, managing your emotions, and letting go of the need to control what happens. Being able to do this shows that you are strong and calm. If you're ready to stop trying to get attention and start valuing your own peace, say it below. Take a step back. It's more than a statement. It's a promise to your worth, your independence, and the exciting path that lies ahead. And remember, as the Stoic philosopher Epicurus said, it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you respond to it. That matters. When you take a step back, you choose how to respond and put your own health first. That, my friends, is true empowerment. Now, before we go any further, let's talk. If you have any questions, thoughts, or personal stories you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. If this message speaks to you, please hit the like button and follow if you haven't already. The second thing is that we should keep this conversation going and keep growing together. Comparing you to others makes her stuck. Let me paint you a vivid picture. As you gracefully step back, the gap you leave behind is hard for her to ignore. It's like a favorite song. Suddenly, a key beat is missing, and the whole rhythm of her life feels out of tune. As she tries to adjust by bringing in new people or relationships to fill the void you once filled, she quickly realizes something isn't quite right. Why? Because no one else brings the same depth, energy, or unique spark that you did. You weren't just a part of her routine, you were the highlight of it. And now, as she tries to move forward, she starts to look back and realizes how much you really added to her life. It's like trying to replace a gourmet meal with fast food. It might be convenient and satisfy your hunger for a moment, but it doesn't have the same richness or satisfaction. You were that unforgettable, impactful, and hard-to-forget gourmet experience. Now, everything else is just a temporary fix that makes her long for what she lost. While she's stuck in this cycle of comparison, you're not wasting time looking over your shoulder. You're investing in your growth, pursuing your passions, and changing every day into a version of yourself that even you're proud of. You're becoming sharper, more resilient, and more confident with each passing moment. And this is where the real change happens. The more she compares her current reality to the one she had with you, the more she realizes how irreplaceable you are. It's not just the lack of texts or calls that stands out. It's also the emotional void, the missing support, the missing encouragement, and the missing energy that only you could provide. The small comparisons she makes every day only serve to show how much she's lost, and as she realizes this, your value in her eyes starts to skyrocket. She starts to remember the times when you were there, always understanding, always listening, and always bringing light into her life, and that light isn't something she can easily replace. Seneca had it spot on when he said we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, while she's consumed by thoughts of what could have been, replaying scenarios in her head. You're fully present in your own reality. You're not wasting energy on what she's thinking or whether she misses you. You're too busy building a life of joy, fulfillment, and success on your own terms. You've shifted your focus entirely to yourself, not as an act of revenge, but as an act of empowerment. You're living in the present, thriving, and turning every day into an opportunity for self-improvement. And here's the thing, while she might be stuck in a loop of what-ifs, and if only you're rising above all that, you're making choices that put your happiness and growth first. You're no longer seeking her approval or waiting for her to realize your worth. You've already realized it. You've reclaimed your time and energy and redirected it to the things that truly matter, your passions, your goals, and your self-development. Now ask yourself, who's really winning here? While she's stuck comparing and questioning, you're out there living your best life. You're becoming stronger, more confident, and more self-assured. With every passing day, you're no longer defined by her presence or absence in your life. You're defining yourself by your own standards, and that's something she can't take away from you. So if you're ready to rise above all the noise and step into your power, type "I'm growing stronger" in the comments below. These aren't just words. They're a promise to yourself, a pledge that from now on, you will prioritize your growth, your happiness, and your well-being, regardless of who's paying attention. It's a declaration that you are stepping into the most powerful version of yourself, and that's something no one can ignore. When you step into a brighter, more satisfying future, you show the world and yourself just how unstoppable you are. Remember this while she's caught in her own web of comparisons and misses the light you brought into her life. Focusing on your own growth and happiness is the ultimate victory, because it's not about getting her back or making her feel bad about the choices she made. It's about taking control of your own life and writing your own story. That's real power, and it's yours for the taking. Number 3, she needs validation while you stay firm. By now, she's probably started to notice a change where your constant presence used to be. The security she felt from having you around all the time is slipping away, replaced by a growing sense of uncertainty. It's upsetting for her, and she can feel it deeply. Your absence is no longer just a gap in her life. She may send a casual message because the emptiness is getting too much for her to ignore. She might do something that seems harmless or uninterested, or she might drop hints on social media to see if you're still watching and interested. But these small actions hide a deeper need. They're not about reconnecting, they're about validation. She's looking for reassurance that she still matters to you and that your world still revolves around her. This is where things get interesting. You've changed your focus, you're still firmly grounded, and you don't respond to her attempts with the same eagerness or immediacy you used to. You've made the choice to focus on a new path that supports your own growth and well-being, and you're sticking to it. When you do respond, it's on your own terms, calmly and without giving too much of yourself away. This is exactly why your approach is so compelling. This change signals something powerful. No longer does your happiness depend on her attention. You're not pretending to be distant or playing games. You're genuinely changing your life and focusing on what matters most, yourself. There's something very attractive about that kind of self-assurance, a quiet confidence that says you know your worth and won't chase after anyone to prove it. Stoic theory, which promotes self-mastery, inner strength and resilience, is at the heart of this way of thinking. Epictetus said that a person is not free unless he or she is master of himself. By keeping calm and on your new path, you are, in a sense, mastering yourself. You're showing that she can't get you to go back to the old dynamics, no matter how hard she tries. Because you stay strong and focused on your own path, she starts to understand something very important. The more grounded and calm you stay, the clearer it becomes that she can't just drift back into your life without making real, meaningful changes. She comes to understand that to be a part of your life again, she needs to elevate herself, to genuinely respect the new boundaries you've set. And that realization doesn't just make you more appealing, it solidifies your position as someone who is now more desirable than ever. So if you're ready to fully embrace this empowered mindset, take a stand, declare it in the comments with "I hold my ground." This isn't just a statement, it's a commitment to your own growth, to the resilience and unwavering strength that now defines you. You're not passively sitting around waiting for her attention, you're actively moving forward, ward confident in your value and your journey. Always remember, staying grounded isn't about creating distance. It's about cultivating self-respect and self-assurance. It's about recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. And that, my friends, is the key to maintaining control, transforming the dynamic and ensuring that your life remains on your terms you've chosen yourself, and in doing so, you've become unstoppable number 4, she senses. As you think about yourself and the emptiness, you decide to take a step back. Suddenly, her world starts to change in ways she hadn't expected. Here's the truth. When you step back, her daily rhythm stumbles as if something important is missing. Because you were always there for her, ready to respond, she may not have realized how much energy and excitement you added to her life. It's like that background music you don't notice until it's gone. You don't think much of it while it's there. But when the tune stops, suddenly everything feels quieter and emptier now as you intentionally pull back. She's left with a void, one where your teaks TT calls and vibrant presence used to be. And this silence isn't just about the lack of communication, it's the comfort that's gone, the knowing that you were there, and now that space feels vast and empty to her. At first, she might shrug it off, thinking nothing has really changed, but as the days stretch on, the absence of you becomes impossible to ignore. She starts wondering, why isn't he around us anymore? What happened? That small question soon turns into a larger realization. Something important is missing the connection she had with you. It hits her that your presence wasn't just casual noise. It added real value to her life. But here's the twist: while she's dealing with the emptiness of your absence, you aren't sitting around waiting for her to notice. No, you're using this time to focus on yourself, on your growth, your passions and your happiness. Maybe you're picking up that hobby you've always wanted to explore, spending quality time with friends, or simply working on becoming the best version of yourself. This time you've taken for yourself is not just time away. It's time well spent, transforming you into a beacon of confidence and positivity. You're becoming more attractive and sure of yourself, and you're investing in what really matters, your own health. And think about this. What if she doesn't even notice that you've taken a step back? If that's the case, you've won something priceless. Clarity. You've learned that she may not have cared about you as much as you thought. This may hurt, but it's a truth that you should accept. This knowledge is a gift because it frees you from false beliefs. If she does feel your absence, which she probably will, she will miss the unique energy you brought into her life, because what you gave her was never just filling time. It was meaningful and irreplaceable. Here's a Stoic principle to remember. Focus only on what you can control, like your actions and emotions, and let go of what you can't. As Marcus Aurelius said, the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. By choosing to invest in yourself and develop a mindset of growth and positivity, you're improving the quality of your own life. If you're ready to make yourself a priority, leave her in silence and leave a comment below that says, "I make myself a priority." It's more than just a comment. It's your declaration of self-empowerment. You're choosing to step into your own power to be the best version of yourself, and no one can take that away from you. Remember that this journey isn't about what she is losing. It's about what you're gaining. It's about how you're spending your time. By changing your world and taking back the space you deserve, you make it possible for her to see how much you really added to hers. In the end, that's how you change the balance of power in your favor, by creating your own happiness. Number 5. She finds out the truth, and you stay upright. Let's start with a twist of reality that hits like a cold shower. She thought she was on her way to pastures, but oh, how she was wrong. Here's the scoop. That moment of truth crashes when she realizes, maybe a little too late, that what she had with you, yes, you, was the real deal. All of a sudden, that bright new option she chased doesn't seem so shiny now that I think about it. She pulled away, maybe to be with someone else, or she just let the gap grow, thinking she'd find better, or that she didn't need to invest in what you both had. At first, she's thrilled about her newfound freedom, intoxicated by what seemed like endless possibilities, but as the days roll by, the excitement fades, revealing the not-so-pretty parts, the talks that now feel like pulling teeth, the connection that's turned shallow, and the warm, reassuring comfort she once found in you gone. She begins to weigh and measure, maybe not outright, but in the quiet corners of her mind, it hits her. She's let go of something priceless. Now here's the real kicker. While she's waking up to the reality that the grass on the other side is just spray paint, you've been standing tall. You haven't wasted a single moment waiting for her to catch up. No, you've been on your grind, evolving, focusing on personal growth and sculpting yourself into the person you're meant to be. You're not glancing over your shoulder, wondering if she'll circle back. You're too busy marching forward, fueled by self-worth. This isn't about puffing up with arrogance. It's about grounding in solid self-respect. You're well aware of what you bring to the table, and you won't sell yourself short just because she missed the memo. Remember, the Stoic sages, like Marcus Aurelius, preach the gospel of self-reliance and strength from within, teaching that true joy is crafted from internal sources, not the fleeting whims of external approval. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus thought, by focusing on your path, your thoughts, and your actions, you're filling your essence with resilience, confidence, and undiluted self-esteem. So what's the play when she finally realizes the grass was only fake and comes knocking? You stand your ground. There's no rushing into open arms or quick forgiveness. You let her show she's grown, that she now sees your worth, and that she's willing to work to regain your trust. This is your chance to radiate to her showcase that while she was out there chasing fantasies, you were busy becoming your best self. You've transformed, evolved, and now it's on her to step up. If she's not up to the task, well, you're more than ready to continue forging ahead. Solo, always remember, the grass isn't greener on the other side. It flourishes where you care for it, by nurturing your own growth. You've been tending to your garden all along. Now it's time for her to see just how lush and formidable you've become. Number 6, she feels the shift as you stay in control. Have you ever felt the tide shift in your favor? That moment when everything suddenly clicks and you realize that you're no longer the one chasing after things, but instead everything is coming to you. Well, hold on tight, because we're about to dive into that life-altering moment when the scales finally tip and you take command of your destiny. It's that defining turning point where you realize that you're no longer just a passenger on this journey. You're the captain of your own ship. Here's the truth. There comes a point when she, who thought she had you all figured out, who assumed you'd always be available, always waiting in the wings, begins to sense something different. A subtle, unspoken message flashes through the air to her, telling her that the dynamic has changed. You're no longer waiting for approval or putting in extra effort to prove your worth. You've turned your attention from her to yourself, pursuing your passions and thriving without her, and this is where the real magic happens. At this point, she feels the tremor under her feet, and all of a sudden she's the one fumbling around in confusion, wondering if she's lost you for good. She reaches out, starts to question, and feels the lack of your attention. This is the first time she realizes that you're no longer hers to claim. When you take charge of your own life, not out of spite or revenge, but because you want to, you're showing with quiet confidence that your happiness isn't dependent on her being there, and that your worth has never been up for discussion. This isn't just a change in the rules. She's left to deal with uncertainty. You appear calm and sure of yourself. The roles have switched, and now she's looking for approval. She wants you to give her a look as you move forward with great purpose. So ask yourself, are you ready to declare your independence? Just write the words in the space below. I have the reins. It's not just a statement. It's a statement that you're writing your own story and taking charge of your life. Now that you've taken back your power, it's up to her to try to keep up with you. Remember that real power isn't controlling other people. It's mastering yourself. You're becoming the captain of your own life. Keep guiding that ship, number 7. She's afraid of losing you, but you don't change. Imagine that. You've become so important to her that the thought of losing you shakes what used to be a stable world. The dynamic changes dramatically, and the balance of power that was once in her favor now leans towards you. She starts to realize something important. You are no longer just an option or a convenient part of her life. You've become a priority, and you're slipping away right in front of her eyes. The thought that someone else could love you, or, even worse, that you've already moved on without her, starts to gnaw at her very core as she watches you live your life with passion, purpose, and undeniable fulfillment. She is hit with the harsh truth that you are not only out of her reach physically, but you are also thriving in ways that she can no longer control. Feeling untouchable by her absence makes her feel a deep regret and fear. The fear of losing someone as valuable as you, someone she now realizes was a rare gem, gives her a sense of urgency. Suddenly, she tries harder to get you back by making big gestures, telling you her deepest secrets and saying sweet things. But here's where the story takes an empowering turn. Despite her sudden outburst of emotion and attempts to pull you back, you stay calm and collected. And unwavering, her panic and fear no longer have power over you. Instead, you stand firm in the undeniable truth of your self-worth. You don't let her realization of your worth cloud your judgment or weaken your resolve. Instead, you hold the line, making it clear that if she really wants to be with you, it will not be on her terms, but on yours. Aren't enough. What you want is real, constant action proof that she knows how valuable you are, not just when she's scared all the time. If you're ready to claim this strength to stand tall when she's uncertain and let her face her own fears, then leave a comment below with the words, "I'm unwavering." Let this be your bold statement to the world. You know what you're worth, and no amount of panic or desperation will change that. You are balanced and in charge of your path. This is your journey, and you're taking it with confidence and purpose. Making your own rules, number 8. She starts the chase while you set the pace. She's now moved forward with newfound resolve, having weathered the storm of emotions and doubt. The tables have turned, and it's now her turn to pursue you seriously. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. You set the pace. Let's set the scene. She's sending you heartfelt messages, trying to plan dates that feel meaningful, and showing up in ways she hadn't before. It's clear she's determined to win back your love, but this time you're in charge. You're not rushing to respond, and you're not changing your plans to fit hers. You're carefully taking your time, letting her actions match her words. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or seeming impossible to achieve. It's about deeply valuing your self-worth and making sure she knows it. You're setting boundaries and actively protecting your energy. You've worked hard to become a better person, and you won't let anyone upset the peace you've created until she can prove she's really changed. This comes from the Stoics, who taught us the value of self-discipline and personal authority. Epictetus tells us that no one is free if they are not in charge of their own pace. You're not only controlling the pursuit, but also your emotions and the situation itself. You are the architect of how this chapter plays out. So here's the real question. Are you ready to lead the way and let her follow? If so, leave a comment below with "I lead the way." This isn't just a declaration, it's an affirmation of your control. Remember that you won't settle for less than what you earn. This situation isn't just about who chases whom. It's about upholding your standards and putting your happiness first by setting the pace. You're making it clear that if she wants to be in your life again, she needs to show the respect and value that you now expect. It's no longer about being a part of her story. She has to earn her place in yours. She admires your strength as you stand tall. Imagine that after a storm of emotions, misunderstandings, and many challenges, her look at you changes from one of doubt or uncertainty to one of deep respect and admiration. It's at this turning point that she finally understands how valuable you are, not only as a romantic partner, but also as a strong person. Your independence and unwavering conviction have shown her through every trial and triumph that you're not easily swayed by outside circumstances or passing opinions. You stand firm in who you are, knowing your own worth and deservingness. Imagine how amazed she is as she watches you handle every challenge with grace and calmness. You've done well even when things were tough, and how you've always stuck to your beliefs and ideals. She now respects you more because of how you've dealt with life's storms. She doesn't see you as a victim, but as someone who gets stronger with each one. Beyond the shallow levels of romantic love, it grows into a deep respect for who you are as a person. She sees you not only as someone to love, but also as someone to admire, respect, and hold in the greatest regard. She looks up to you as someone who has shown strength, resilience, and a strong commitment to living an honest life. But here's the big change. As her admiration grows, you stay firm in your beliefs. You don't look for approval from others or need their respect to know your worth. You stand in your power, upholding the rules and boundaries that have made you who you are today. You show that while you appreciate her newfound respect, it is not what defines you. You are the creator of your own worth and refuse to dilute it for anyone's approval or affection. Your sense of worth comes from within, not from their admiration. Here's how to fix the story of your life. At first, she may have taken you for granted, not seen how deep your character is, or not fully appreciated the person she was looking at. But now she is in awe, realizing how much value you bring to every space you occupy. She admires your independence, your strength, and how you've always been true to yourself, no matter what. Because of this greater respect, she now sees you in a way she has never seen you before, as someone who is strong, confident, and has a strong sense of self-worth. If you're ready to accept this powerful change and claim the respect you've always deserved, let's make it official. Leave a comment below with the phrase, "I hold my head high." By doing this, you're sending a strong message to the world that you know your worth and won't settle for anything less than what you deserve. You've shown her, and more importantly, yourself, that you deserve love, respect, and admiration that matches your value. You deserve nothing less than the best, so live your life with unwavering confidence, intention, and purpose. As we come to a close on our journey into the art of detachment, we've learned about the big changes that happen when you put your self-worth first and choose to step back by following Stoic principles. You go from being the chaser to being the chased, showing that sometimes the less you give, the more you get. Remember that real power comes from within. It's about taking charge of your own story and making sure that your worth is recognized on your own terms. Now it's your turn to think about and respond. How have these dynamics played out in your own life? Have you ever felt the shift when you decided to pull back? Leave your ideas and stories in the section below. Your contributions will not only make our community stronger, but they will also help other people understand how important it is to respect yourself and set personal limits. If you liked what you read today, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more enlightening talks as we continue to look into these life-changing ideas. Before you leave, take a moment to watch the suggested videos on the screen. They were chosen to help you learn more about the Stoic way of life and implement it in your daily life. Each video is a step toward controlling your emotions and reclaiming your independence. Thank you for joining us today. Remember that in the art of life, you are the master of your own story. Keep writing it with purpose and clarity, like and comment, and keep building your happiness until next time. Take on your journey with heart and courage.